I wanted Labour. I didn't think they'd be this bad this soon. I wanted Labour to win because I thought they're going to complete the job of the Tories, which is get us to rock bottom so everybody rebels. And to be fair, they do it. They're still doing it, just doing it a lot quicker than I ever imagined they would do. And I mean, you just look online, you speak to people. I've never known a government as despised as this one is. Even the Tories at the height of their scandals and stuff like that, they weren't despised as much as this, were they?
No.
And I think it's not because...
No, I don't think they were. I don't think they were.
And it's not because Labour are doing worse things than them, because they're not. It's because Labour overpromised. Labour told us we're better than them and we're on your side. And it's about time we had a government for the people. And it's about time we put people first, and we're going to sacrifice ourselves to build a better country. And at the time they're saying that, we now find out all the bribes and the backhanders and all the gifts and all the donations.
They're grubby,
and it's like, you're not any worse than the Tories. You just like them. And I think they built the people up expecting we were going to get a better class of politician, and then the people have gone, and we've been fooled again, haven't we? And I think that's why there's so much anger in the country.
But I might vote Labour next time, because who else will bring our sausages home? You know?
Yeah, well, I'm thinking I might start a party called the Walls Party. And just see if we can save our sausages.
Save our sausages. SOS, save us. God knows what the memes will be tomorrow for that one.
What an idiot.
What an imbecile. But you know that sausage comment? It did make me laugh, and Barry was actually texting me because I think he sent me the video. Can you believe he was killing himself laughing? But I was actually thinking, how bad a politician is he that he didn't even, because he's in the middle of an important speech. The great politicians know their speeches really well, understand the context or whatever.
Practiced.
How bad can you be to say sausage instead of hostage? Because even if it's on the teleprompter, you would think, I'm pretty sure you wouldn't say sausage in that situation, would you?
Why is the word sausage even in his head? Why is the word
He's
sausage?
He's probably thinking about his tea.
He's
probably thinking, I'm going to have a sausage for my tea.
Yeah, they've been donated.
Free sausages tonight. I've no idea why it's even in his head.
Reading off a prompter and we all make mistakes.
Yes.
And we might, we might mispronounce the word, but it wouldn't be the main word of the sentence. He's talking about the hostages. He knows he's talking about the hostages. But then to turn around and go, the sausages.
It is. I was killing myself laughing.
And the best thing about this is Labour government will continue with these gaffes.
Yes.
And the more they do these gaffes, the more people across the country will laugh at them. And that will be the end of the government.
Yeah.
You can't have a government running the country where everyone just thinks it's fools and you laugh at them, as well as they're being corrupt and immoral.
I can't see how they can carry it. I mean, you said that a few weeks ago. I was thinking, Nick can't be right about that. Surely they were. Because you said Starmer will go first, then the government will go to short order. Looking at the behaviours now, I'm actually thinking, that is a possibility.
Did you see the story over the weekend that Angela Rayner has just hired a photographer full-time on £68,000
a year
to follow her?
Yeah.
And take photos and get them online because they're trying to develop an image for her.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah, God knows.
Because she's waiting for Starmer to fall.
Yeah. But again, the optics on that, they must have known that would come out. They must have realised that, that
everything comes out.
Yeah.
A politician should always go, is this going to damage me if this comes out?
Yeah.
And if it is, well, either don't do it or then you announce it.
Yeah.
Because everything comes out eventually.
Yeah, yeah. And it's not even like she's paid for a photographer for herself to take pictures. We're paying for that photographer. Yeah.
Taxpayer.
But please, Nick, tell me that she cannot become our Prime Minister. She
thinks she can, and I think her plan is increase my public image, and then when Keir Starmer falls, then there'll be an interim Prime Minister straight away, which will be her, until the Labour Party votes on who they want. So she's thinking, if I increase my image now and look more Prime Minister and look better and have my pictures everywhere, like all dictators do.
Yeah.
If I can get that done now, I'm in a better position when he falls. That's why she's doing it. Why else would she?
Yeah, but she's as thick as two short planks. You can barely string a sentence together, Nick. And you all say I'm classist when I say this. It's not classist. This is intelligencist. We want intelligent, capable people in charge of our country, don't we?
We do, but we get what we get.
I would be quite shocked. But anyway.
There was a Rachel Reeve thing today being interviewed by the BBC.
I think she did go to Oxford.
Right, I don't know.
I think she did. But yeah.
And the BBC is saying to her, in your expenses, not expenses, in your donations, you've put down £1,300. What was that for? She went, yeah, it's I got given some dresses. Right. Well, can I ask you a follow-up question? Yeah. Well, why did you put in the book £1,300 for support?
Oh, really? That's that.
Why didn't you explain it was for dresses? It's because of the way it's looking. And she's like, oh, well, no, it is support because it's going to help me do my job and look better. It was for dresses.
Really? Who was asking that question?
I think it was the BBC.
This is what I'm saying. I think the media have shifted. There's something's changed somewhere.
I don't think they have.
Because I don't think Rachel Reeves ever been asked a hard question before.
No, she hasn't. But most politicians in the shadow cabinet, when they're in opposition, ever get anything. People are only interested when you're in power.
Yeah.
So the BBC have gone after the Tories. But I think once it changes, the press then will go for anybody because it sells magazines, it sells stuff. But that's how corrupt she is. She thought, if I put dresses down, it will look bad.
Yeah.
I'll put support, and she admitted live on air,
it's a lie.
it was for dresses.
It's a lie, isn't it? It's a basic lie, and that's what's really scandalous about it. But just the fact they've taken so much money, so many donations, so many freebies, and they were doing this when they weren't in power, by the way. That's the scary thing.
But all of them were. Every politician in the House of Commons was doing it, and has been doing it for decades and decades and decades.
Were the Tories doing that?
Oh, yeah.
Do you think so? Well, how come we never heard that before then?
Because the Tories never said we're whiter than white and we're moral and we're fighting for the poor. It's because
it's the hypocrisy.
It's the hypocrisy. That's why this is a story. The Tories, some of the MPs keep then talking about what the Tories have done, and it's like, well, the Tories, it sounds a lot worse, but they never said they were moral. We all knew they were scammers. We all knew.
Yeah.
You said you weren't.
Yeah.
It's the hypocrisy that's getting you now.
Yeah. It is interesting, isn't it? And I think with what we're seeing now, that there is a chance that something's going to happen here, because it just seems to be getting worse for them. Basically,
anything can happen. We've got David Lammy, who's a fool. Maybe something international will happen. Well, here's a good example. Trump wins the election.
Yeah.
And Trump says, "I don't deal with Lammy. No trade deals. None of this. None of that. I don't even come to you, kid. No, I don't, because you got Lammy there, who's insulted me many times."
Yeah, he has.
So then what does Keir Starmer?
Sadiq Khan.
Yeah, but you can't get rid of Sadiq Khan. But Keir Starmer will then have an option. Do I need America for jobs, for this, for that, or do I get rid of a Lammy? That could bring down the government. He gets rid of Lammy, then all his MPs turn on him. You're just a Trump puppet now, aren't you? Americans tell you what to do. There could be, an invasion somewhere, a war somewhere. There's all sorts of things that could happen to bring down this government.
Well, the unions now apparently are up in arms about this winter fuel thing.
Of course they are.
So that's big news at the conference at the moment, because all the union officials are saying we want this thing repealed.
They're only saying that because that's a branch to beat Labour with until they get their pay rises.
Right.
That's what that's about. The nurses' union has just refused
the
5.5%.
Surprise.
Yeah, because they've just seen everyone else. They're in double figures. And they accepted that. They accepted it a month ago.
But then again, has nobody, Nick, advised?
I know.
When they gave the pay rises to, who did they give to first? The tube train drivers.
Yeah.
And then
doctors.
With no conditions at all.
Yeah.
So you're telling me that nobody said to them, you need to be careful about doing this or how you do it. They were given no advice.
Because everybody else is going to come now for a big pay rise.
Yeah.
Everybody else will.
So did none of the civil servants say that to Starmer, whoever negotiated it?
You would think, I'm 99.999%, they must have done. Must have. But forget they didn't. He's the Prime Minister. How stupid can you be to not go, I'm going to give this. And it's okay to give that if that's what he wants. But knowing I'm going to also have to give the nurses 12% as well. And then council workers are going to want 12%. And the army is going to want 12%. And unless he's prepared to give everybody 12% pay rises, then it's a mistake.
But this may go back to his childhood, because his dad was, as we know, a toolmaker, but a communist. And his dad will have had him sitting on his knee.
Yeah.
And he said, did you enjoy your sausages for your tea, love?
Oh yeah, Dad. I'm with sausages.
Sausage is lovely.
I dream about sausages sometimes. I'm always scared, Dad, that when I'm in class reading, I might say the word sausage.
So he said, did you enjoy your sausages, son? Yes. And then there's something on the news, and he said, listen, son, remember, when the workers, they deserve more pay, and they should be given that pay without any qualifications. And if you're in a position, son, to give the workers pay, just give them it with no conditions, and everything will work out. Yeah. I think that's been indoctrinated in him since he was a young little communist sitting on his
I'm sure it is, and
so I think he's thought, oh yeah, they'll say, oh thanks very much, that's fantastic. At last, somebody recognising our worth. We'll take this pay rise and we'll go away and we'll be happy.
Yeah, well, that's quite an honourable thing to do if that's your thought process. But you also then realise other people will come and knocking. Now, this hasn't happened yet, which I'm surprised. If you had to guess the sex of most doctors in this country, what would you say they were?
That's an interesting question. I would say now mainly women.
Doctors?
Doctors, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot more women doctors.
Oh, I'm sure there is, but I
You're very healthy, you never go to the doctors.
No,
whenever you go and see a doctor now, it tends to be a woman.
Oh, right.
So go on, but what?
I would have said male.
Yeah, go on.
And then I would ask you, and what's the sex of most nurses?
Female.
So how he's not been targeted by, male doctors get 12%, but female nurses get 5.5%. I'm surprised it's not been attacked
I see.
on that line, on the
yeah.
sexist line.
Yeah. I think the sexist bit is you thinking most doctors are male. I think there's probably an even mix. But I'm sure our viewers will let us know.
I'm going to Google it in a minute. I'm going to Google it.
I think the thing that Starmer has missed of all this, you give all these people pay rises at this level, the price of sausages will go up.
Oh.
It's got to happen, hasn't it?
And if all those train drivers and doctors use their pay rises to buy sausages, there'll be shortages. And there'll be black market opportunities to sell. Got some Cumberland there. Do you want some Cumberlands? Did you enjoy that video? I think you did. Come on now, hit that bell, subscribe, comment. Let's build this channel. I need more followers. I need more subscribers. Be part of the journey. See you soon.